1987.
Captain, I came to find you at some personal risk.
Very ballsy.
Very what?
It's been over 4 decades since Buck Rogers in the 25th century blasted us into a dazzling, chrome-plated vision of tomorrow. And what happened to the people who built that world is stranger, sadder, and more surprising than anything the directorate ever dreamed up. One leading man became a sci-fi convention legend, but not before life threw him curveballs that would have stopped a lesser man cold. A beloved robot performer brought joy to millions from inside a metal suit, and you almost certainly don't know his real name. And some of these stars are gone now, taken far too soon, while others are still out there defying every expectation. 45 years later, the 25th century is calling. Let's find out who answered.
Great, where are we going?
We're going home.
Great, where's that?
On Earth.
All right.
Number 1. Gil Gerard, Captain William Buck Rogers, 1979 to 1981. When Gil Gerard was 36 years old, he strapped into that starfighter and became one of television's most recognizable faces overnight. He appeared in all 37 episodes, bringing rugged charm and genuine leading man magnetism to a man out of time, frozen in the 20th century, awakened 500 years too late. For a generation of kids, he wasn't just a character, he was the guy. But before any of that, Gerard was doing something most people forget, grinding through stage work and daytime television, building his craft in roles that never made him famous. He broke into film with supporting parts in Airport 77 and Hooper alongside Burt Reynolds. Small roles, but they put him in the room. And then Buck Rogers changed everything. What happened after the show ended is where things get complicated. He starred in Sidekicks, made the rounds on The Cosby Show and Diagnosis Murder, hosted the reality series Code 3, and even lent his voice to the Super Mario Bros. Super Show in 1989. The career kept moving, but the man behind it was navigating something harder than Hollywood. Gerard was married 4 times. His longest marriage lasted 15 years. He had 1 son, Gib. And as the decades passed, he dealt with health challenges that would have broken someone without his particular brand of quiet resilience. He remained a beloved fixture at sci-fi conventions until the very end, never losing the warmth that made Buck Rogers feel like someone you actually knew. Sadly, Gil Gerard passed away on December 13, 2025, at age 82. Buck Rogers may have been fiction's ultimate survivor, but Gil Gerard's legacy? That's something no amount of time can freeze.
Captain, I came to find you at some personal risk.
Very ballsy.
Very what?
Number 2. Erin Gray, Colonel Wilma Deering, 1979 to 1981. She was 29 years old, and she was already rewriting the rulebook on what a woman in science fiction could look like. Not just glamorous, though she was undeniably that, but capable, commanding, and impossible to dismiss. Colonel Wilma Deering wasn't a sidekick. She was the one who kept the whole operation running. Erin Gray appeared in all 37 episodes, and today, in 2026, she is 76 years old and still going strong. Before she ever set foot in the 25th century, Gray had conquered the modeling world, working with the prestigious Wilhelmina Agency and appearing in over 100 television commercials. She knew how to own a frame. What she brought to Buck Rogers was something the industry rarely offered women at the time: authority. After the series ended, she landed another iconic role, Kate Summers in Silver Spoons, the hit sitcom that ran from 1982 to 1987, where she appeared in over 100 episodes. Memorable guest appearances followed on Magnum P.I., Murder, She Wrote, and Baywatch. But here's what most people don't know. Gray didn't just stay in front of the camera. She co-founded Heroes for Hire, a talent management company built specifically to represent genre actors at conventions, turning her own experience into an industry. She has been married to Richard Rockwell since 1991, a partnership now spanning more than 35 years. She has 2 children, Kevin and Samantha, from her first marriage. Her portrayal of Wilma Deering proved that strong female characters don't need rescuing. And Erin Gray has spent every year since proving that the woman who played her doesn't either.
What about Buck?
Number 3. Felix Silla, Twiki, 1979 to 1981. Here's the thing about Twiki. Almost everyone who loved that character has no idea who actually played him. The voice, yes, that was Mel Blanc, one of the most famous voice actors in history. But the physical performance? The comedic timing, the shuffling gait, the expressive body language that made a metal suit feel alive? That was Felix Silla, and his story deserves to be told. Silla was 42 when he climbed into that iconic robot costume and appeared in all 37 episodes. But Twiki wasn't even close to his first time disappearing inside a character. He had already achieved a kind of immortality as Cousin It on The Addams Family, one of the most recognizable silhouettes in television history, and you never once saw his face. He had worked as a circus trapeze artist. He had been a stuntman. He was, in every sense, a man built for roles that asked everything of his body and nothing of his name. After Buck Rogers, he kept working in exactly that extraordinary register. He played an Ewok in Star Wars: Return of the Jedi, a Dink in Spaceballs, an Emperor Penguin in Batman Returns. You've seen his work more times than you can count. You just never knew to look for him. Silla was married to Sue Silla from 1965 until his death, 56 years. They had 2 children. And in 2016, their son Michael passed away from cancer, a grief no parent should carry. Yet those who knew him describe a man who remained joyful, warm, and present. Someone whose love for what he did never curdled into bitterness. Sadly, Felix Silla passed away on April 16, 2021, at age 84 from pancreatic cancer. Twiki may have been the comic relief, but Felix Silla was a true artist, and his work is woven into the fabric of pop culture in ways most people never stop to consider.
Starfighter, this is Thom. Release your controls or I'll rip your ship apart.
Number 4. Thom Christopher, Hawk, 1980 to 1981. He came in at the start of Season 2, and he immediately changed the temperature of the room. Hawk was different, darker, more philosophical, carrying a grief that the show's sunnier first season never quite attempted. A half-human, half-bird warrior searching for the last survivors of his kind. Thom Christopher was 40 years old when he took the role, and he played those 13 episodes with a quiet intensity that fans still talk about. What most viewers didn't know was how deep his training ran. Christopher had made his Broadway debut in 1975, a classically trained stage actor who had earned his craft the hard way. When he showed up in Buck Rogers, he brought that theatrical weight with him, and it showed. After the series, his career took a turn nobody predicted. He found his greatest success not in science fiction, but in daytime drama. His portrayal of the villainous Carlo Hesser on One Life to Live, a role he played from 1990 all the way to 2011, then reprised in the show's 2013 online revival, earned him a Daytime Emmy Award for Outstanding Supporting Actor. The man who played a bird warrior became one of soap opera's most celebrated villains. The range is extraordinary. Christopher was married twice. His second marriage, to Jamie Holland, lasted from 1990 until his death. He never stopped working, never stopped moving between stage and screen with the fluency of someone who simply loved the craft. Sadly, Thom Christopher passed away on December 5, 2024, at age 84. Hawk was searching for the last of his kind. Thom Christopher, it turns out, was one of a kind himself.
Before your time, if it frightened you.
Nothing frightens me.
All right, fine, get down and boogie.
Number 5. Pamela Hensley, Princess Ardala, 1979 to 1980. Every great hero needs a great villain. And Buck Rogers had Ardala, scheming, spectacular, draped in the most elaborate costumes the show's budget could produce. Pamela Hensley was 29 when she took the role, appearing in 11 episodes as the draconian princess who wanted Earth for herself. Today, in 2026, she is 76 years old, and the path she took after leaving the 25th century is not the one anyone would have guessed. Before Ardala, Hensley had already built a solid resume. Guest spots on Marcus Welby, MD, a role in the sci-fi classic Rollerball. She knew how to hold the screen, but something shifted after Buck Rogers ended, and it's worth paying attention to. She continued acting. C.J. Parsons in the detective series Matt Houston ran from 1983 to 1985, and she was good in it. But by the late 1980s, Hensley made a deliberate, strategic pivot that few actors have the discipline to make. She moved behind the camera, becoming a screenwriter and producer alongside her husband, E. Duke Vincent. She also authored a cookbook in 1989 called The Pantyhose Cook, a title that tells you everything you need to know about her sense of humor. She has been married to Vincent since 1989, a partnership now exceeding 35 years. Princess Ardala schemed to conquer Earth. Pamela Hensley had a more interesting plan. She conquered Hollywood on her own terms, then quietly decided she was finished with it.
It's a very unusual game. Where did you get these cards?
Number 6. Tim O'Connor, Doctor. Elias Hewer, 1979 to 1981. Stop for a moment, because this one requires it. Tim O'Connor was 52 years old when he played the wise, steady hand guiding Earth's directorate in 20 episodes of Buck Rogers. That means that today, in 2026, Tim O'Connor is 99 years old. Think about that. Nearly a century on this Earth, and he saw most of it from in front of a camera. His career before Buck Rogers was already a masterclass in longevity. A notable multi-year run on Peyton Place, appearances on MASH, Columbo, and All in the Family, the holy trinity of 1970s television credibility. He knew every corner of the craft, and it showed in the quiet authority he brought to Dr. Hewer. After the series, the work kept coming. Dallas, Murder, She Wrote, Walker, Texas Ranger, supporting roles in Peggy Sue Got Married and Steel Magnolias. He worked steadily and without drama, the kind of actor directors called because they knew exactly what they were getting. Someone who would make the scene better and never make the day harder. O'Connor was married 3 times and has 3 children. He retired from acting after a 2000 appearance on Party of 5, walking away on his own schedule after a career entirely on his own terms. Dr. Hewer was the wisest man in the 25th century. Tim O'Connor has had more than enough time to earn that title for real.
Didn't Officer Marinell run you through the computer?
Number 7. Juanin Clay, Major Marla Landers, 1979 to 1980. She only appeared in 3 episodes, but anyone who watched them remembers her. The warmth, the professionalism, the sense that this character had a whole world behind her eyes that the show barely had time to explore. Juanin Clay was 30 years old when she played Major Marla Landers, and the trajectory her career was on suggested that Buck Rogers was just the beginning. She had already guest starred on Charlie's Angels and Fantasy Island before arriving in the 25th century. After the series, she kept building. Appearances on LA Law and Matlock, roles in films including The Legend of Billie Jean and Legal Eagles. Every credit pointed toward a career that was about to break wide open. It never got the chance. Juanin Clay passed away on March 12, 1995, at just 45 years old, taken by breast cancer. Far too early, far too fast. Major Marla Landers served with distinction in 3 episodes, and it wasn't enough. Juanin Clay deserved 100 more. Number 8. Patty Maloney, Tina and Other Guest Roles, 1979 to 1980. She appeared in 2 episodes. 2. And yet if you spend any time at all tracing her career, you'll find her fingerprints on some of the most beloved properties in the history of film and television. Hiding in plain sight, doing work that most viewers absorbed without ever stopping to ask who was responsible. Maloney was 43 when she visited the 25th century, and by then she had already built something remarkable. She had appeared in H.R. Pufnstuf. She had played Emily the Robot in The Brady Bunch Hour. She understood, perhaps better than anyone, what it meant to bring a character to life through costume and physicality alone. To make an audience feel something for a figure that concealed everything about the person inside. After Buck Rogers, the career only expanded. An uncredited Ewok in Return of the Jedi, the voice of Conky 2000 in Pee-wee's Playhouse, appearances in Stand By Me and Gremlins 2, each credit a small piece of an enormous mosaic, most of it invisible to the people who loved it most. She was married to Don Blakesley from 1970 until his death in 2008. 38 years. Patty Maloney herself passed away on April 14, 2025, at age 88. She spent her career working behind masks and inside costumes, and her talent was always unmistakable. The unsung hero, the secret ingredient, the one you didn't know you needed. 8 actors, 8 lives, some gone, some still out there. All of them real in ways the 25th century never was. Buck Rogers gave us a vision of tomorrow. These people made it matter. That's not nothing. That's everything. If this one hit different, drop it in the comments. And don't go anywhere. There's more where this came from.